All right, so our whole point of learning about probability, honestly, the main point, is so that we can make predictions. So we're going to talk about how you can actually calculate that. So let's say you're figuring out how much money you save per month, or you're figuring out like how many errors you make on tests or when you're manufacturing a product, or you're trying to figure out gambling and stuff like that. You can do experiments and you can find probability, but we want to know, based on what you did, what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next year, what's going to happen with the next 1,000 products, whatever. So I'm going to show you how to actually do that. The process is always the same. Number one, calculate probability. Sometimes they'll say like, oh, 25% chance. A lot of times they won't. You have to calculate the probability. That's why we learned how to do it. Then you're going to compare to the future probability, and I'll show you how that works. And the last thing is we use algebra. Most of these questions are going to look like this, okay? So it's going to be something like this situation. We've done these before. And we'll go over how to do these in a sec. Okay, so first situation. I had tacos 3 times last month. How many times will I have tacos during the next 6 months? So first thing I want to do is find my probability. So probability is the number of good outcomes divided by the total. So when I look at this, the good outcomes, or what we're looking about, is having tacos. So that happens 3 times. And then it said in the last month. So this is pretty easy. We can say, well, there's 1 month. Okay, so that means 3 every one. Now we want to compare it, and we're going to compare it this way by saying how many in the next 6 months. So here is going to be a 6, because 6 is the total, but I don't know how many tacos go there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need to get this x all by itself. So in order to get the x by itself, we have to get rid of the divide by 6. The opposite, to get rid of, we do the opposite, is multiply by 6. If we do it to this side of the equation, we have to do it to this side too. So 3 times 6 becomes 18 over 1. So in this situation, 18 divided by 1 is just 18. So this means during the next 6 months, I will probably have tacos 18 times. Now, are there factors that might influence that? Of course. But using the information we had here, we can make this prediction. Here's another situation, okay? There's someone who owns a restaurant. They noticed that 4 out of every 50 customers buy pretzels. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out a probability. So 4 out of every 50 customers, so the total was 50 customers, and 4 of them buy pretzels. Now they're trying to compare to, in the rest of the week, they're going to have 1,000 customers. How many pretzels should they order? So again, we're going to set this up. The 1,000 customers is the total number here at the bottom. It's not the pretzels. I don't know how many pretzels it is. So in order to find x, we're going to have to get rid of all the numbers. So to get rid of divide by 1,000, we're going to do times 1,000 on both sides. So we get 4,000 divided by 50 equals x. Okay? So now we're going to do 4,000 divided by 50, and we will get 80 equals x. So based on this, based on the probability we have, there should be 80 people who are going to order pretzels in this next week. Okay? The last situation is weird, and it doesn't happen very often. This is the same question, so we still have the 1 out of 50. Okay? Or 4 out of 50, sorry. Order pretzels. So now they're saying they ordered 60 pretzels. How many customers are they ready for in that next week? So we're going to set it up. But in this situation, instead of saying 60 on the bottom, because the total isn't 60, there were 60 pretzels, that goes up here. This was X. They don't know how many customers there's going to be in the next week that they would be prepared for. So in order to solve this, we're going to do the same idea. The first step I'm going to do, I don't like X being on the bottom, so I'm going to flip it. If I flip this equation, I need to flip this equation too. So this is going to become 50 over 4 equals X over 60. Now I have 60 on the bottom, so I have to get rid of it by doing times 60 to both sides. So when I do that, 50 times 60 is going to give me 3,000 divided by 4 equals X. So we just do divide by 4, and I get 750. So based on that, if this restaurant ordered 60 pretzels, that means they're good for 750 people more coming into the restaurant. So this basic idea of setting up this kind of equation thing, most of the questions don't look like this one. Most of them look like this. Setting up this basic equation can help you make predictions about everything. I'm going to teach you one more method. So in this situation, right, we said 4 out of 50 was the odds. I'm going to turn that into a percent. most of the time we deal with percents. So 4 divided by 50 means that there's an 8% chance. Okay, because it gave me, 0.08, and in turn in percentage we do times 100, so it's going to be 8% chance. It's just an 8% chance when customers come in that they will be buying pretzels. So now what we can actually do is we can take this number and multiply it by the 1,000. Okay, and it gives you 80. This is another way to get to the right answer. So you just take the percentage and multiply it. This works especially well if questions say like, oh, there's a 27% chance that people buy pretzels. Just do that times 1,000, it gives you the answer. Both methods are right, whichever one you prefer works. That's it.